first year to my final year, my data is already captured in a system where when I need any information about Gadiel, I just go in there, the name pops up, and everything I have done in that school comes up. And I felt that that was a very good thing. And I was proud to be part of that team, building that software, deploying for some universities, and seeing it work. But I mean, in life, people move on. So I moved on to another firm where they had another peculiar system where they were developing that had to do with farmers. And, you know, for a very long time, farmers in the rural areas would grow their crops and have to cut it all the way to the market centers to get them sold off. A number of people also had interest in buying certain produce which they didn't know where to go to. I mean, which village do I go to get tomatoes? You'd have to probably try going there and maybe not get tomatoes at all and come back. So we decided that, look, that team decided that, look, we are going to develop this system where a farmer can just push an SMS and say that I have 1 ton of tomatoes I'm selling. Okay? Somebody out there who probably has an interest in buying tomatoes would get that message and say, okay, I'm interested. Give him a call and the deal is done. And through this system, I can tell you that we got people trading from Ghana to Togo to Nigeria and most of West African countries. And that was something that, well, if you ask me till today, I'm still happy about it. So, moving on, from there I came to the financial institutions where I started with systems developing. You know, banking then, way back when I was in school, banking, I would have to go to a banking hall and get my transactions done. Sometimes if I open an account in Kumasi, I have to bank in Kumasi. I can't come to Accra. And banking gradually evolved into something else, where I can open an account in Takrady, go to Navrongo. Once there's a branch there, I can walk in. That was one phase. Then it moved on. We had, ATMs. So I can go to any ATM and withdraw my cash, and I'm done. So I found myself in that environment where banking had changed. Banks had to do new things. They had to be innovative. So they needed guys like us, the tech guys, to get in there and develop certain products for them. Internet banking. Now we have the mobile apps, USSD, all those things are there. So as she said, now when I worked with the bank, the Intercontinental Bank and Access Bank, I realized that I had a new passion. I mean, I'm sure you might wonder, oh, the guy just keeps changing his passion. But I developed a new passion for e-banking. Why not? If it can be done out there, why can't it be done here? So I built that passion for e-banking. I worked with the e-banking department in that bank, and through, my skill and other things, we were able to bring out a whole new environment of banking. And banking today is not the banking we had 20 years ago. At Bond, I think that we look at the customer and what he wants. As I said, if you look at customers 20 years ago, today customers are different. They've grown, they've come to understand different things. They are more sophisticated now. Any customer that walks into your branch today wants a different kind of service. Probably something you're not already doing. So at Bond, we thrive in ensuring that we, day in and day out, engage our customers, ensure that we understand what they need, tailor products that are made for them to help them to grow in their businesses. Let me move on to science technology itself. I'm sure if I ask any of you to define science, you'd probably give me the textbook definition of science. But then there are some things about science that we need to understand as young people growing up and also choosing our career. Science is a very exciting thing. I can tell you that Archimedes did not scream Eureka because he was bitten by an ant or something. He had achieved something. He had done something. He had set a mark. He had been able to produce something that nobody had done before, or he had stumbled on a finding that nobody had ever found before. So that in itself makes it exciting. Science can do a whole lot of things. I mean, once you understand what the human being is made up of, once you understand what the environment is made up of, it gives you the power to create things to help you. Now, science is I would say science is continuous. It never ends. The science they did maybe 20 centuries ago, still lives on. We're building on it. Probably some theories have even changed. Right? So science will never be completed or finished. That's why, for me, I think that God, in his own wisdom, you can't understand him. Because day in and day out, we find new things that boggle our minds, that are of interest to us. Now, science is a global human endeavor. Everybody is doing science. The marketing guy is doing science because he has to understand how human beings behave in a particular way to be able to bring products to them. Now, people don't walk up to you and then rub all sorts of goods in your face because they think it's fun. But they know that once you see it, there's something that triggers you. And probably oh yeah, I need this thing. And you probably buy it. Economists also use science. Other than that, they won't tell us we need to produce more for Ghana to grow. So what I want us to do now is to look at technology. What is technology? We've done all the science, we've done all the research, we found great ideas, now we've got the knowledge. Technology is what will now build on that knowledge to produce things that will meet our needs. And I want to borrow two quotes from Edward Teller and Jackie Fresco. Now, Edward Teller says that science of today is a technology of tomorrow. Jackie Fresco says that the intelligent use of science and technology are the tools with which to achieve a new direction. It might not sound too clear for some of us, but in simple terms, we're looking at what they are saying is for any nation, for any group of people to advance, to get to where they want to be, to choose a new destiny, they need science. They need technology. So in simple words, we cannot advance without acting on all the knowledge that we have gained from the research that we do by just sitting down. We need to develop things. We need to build on those, on the knowledge that we've got already. We need to look for new things every single day. As I speak now, there's something that fascinates me. In the Western world, they are looking at roads that are smart. We have a smartphone, we have our smart TVs and other things. Now they are looking at extending it to roads. Why? That's a big question to ask as young minds. If you look at a road that is smart, okay, so I'm driving on a road, GPS is becoming a thing of the day. So that road can absorb solar energy, convert it into power a Wi-Fi range for me. So whilst I'm driving, I'm connected. I don't need to look for my data or something. So that is one thing that they're looking at in the future. The same smart roads are going to power electric cars. You know, gradually we'll move from all these gasoline and other things to electric cars. Now those cars will need to be charged. What they are looking at is, how do we charge those cars when you're on the road? So you don't get to maybe a flower and stop. And this is technology. Somebody has sat down to look at, okay, what are the needs around us? How do we build on these needs and improve our lives? Well, we know the history of our computers. I love computers. From that mainframe computer, which used to sit in a huge building with only one monitor and one person using at a time, and it couldn't store much data, to the smartphones that we carry nowadays. I mean, people have phones that are about 128 gigabytes of information stored on it. It's going to get smaller. The microprocessor that powers all these things is going to get smaller. And, I mean, as a country, we need to also start thinking towards that direction. Do I need to say even about the internet? I mean, that's where most of us sleep nowadays. WhatsApp and Facebook and all that. So our way of living has really changed. We can't dispute that fact. Our way of living has changed, whether we like it or not. And as a country and as a people, we need to also gear towards that change. I'm not saying that we are not doing anything. I mean, where I work, I've met very intelligent, smart minds doing various things for the banking sector. My boss always tells me that, look, the banking that we used to do then has changed. And what does Bond need to do? That's my headache now. What does Bond need to do to make sure that, I mean, as the banks change their way of operating, we also go with it? Mobile money has come to stay. I mean, we can't lie about that. I'm sure now most of your schools have various modes of payments for you. Paying school fees nowadays is not a problem. So your parents don't have to worry about giving you the money and then the money doesn't get to the school. Or on the lighter side. 20 years ago, when I was in Nsmq, I told you I'll tell you later. When I was in Nsmq, I had to wait for my dad, who was out of Cape Coast, to drive and come to Cape Coast and give me money. Or unless I had an auntie or uncle in Cape Coast who would probably give me money. But now you guys are, I'm sure you have mobile money points on your campuses, right? So, yes, technology is here. We have to embrace it. Now, the challenge is that what do we do as science students, people who are studying science, to embrace that technology and move on with it? It started. People are doing more things here now. But what can we also do? That's the challenge I'm throwing to the young minds in this room. That the world out there, I mean, it's changing day in and day out. The things you study today, I won't say it might not be relevant, but in a few years' time, you will need to build on it. And I must say that the minds that we have in this room should be able to bring out and churn out new products, new things, inventions that would break the scale for Ghana and move Ghana forward. Ghana needs a generation of people who have a passionate heart for advancement. Now, it's not just about studying it and then keeping it in your head. But once it goes into your head, there needs to be something that works around. What can I do with this that I've got? The knowledge that I have got, what can I do with it? For those of you here preparing for your SSC, WASI, or moving to university, I think that it's most important that we focus on the kind of courses that we choose. And I must say that if you are somebody who's strong in mathematics, you're strong in mathematics and then chemistry and physics, you should be looking at the sciences. We're looking at engineering. You should be looking at courses in statistics, chemistry, chemical engineering, and all those. For those who are strong in biology and chemistry, the humanities are there for you. You should be looking at agric as a way of improving our economy. We should be looking at health, biochemistry. Because after all these products, after all these farmers grow all they have, what happens to those products that they come out with? Half of them are left to rot. We need to find ways of turning those things around into profitable things. So, on the other hand, research has shown that usually young minds will not find their purpose before the age of 26. Usually, I'm not saying it happens for everybody. But that shouldn't discourage us. I mean, people have started life, gotten to stages where they find out, no, this is not what I'm passionate about. They rework and then come up. So I'm challenging us that we need to be ready for change, because change is here. We need to be ready to move on as a nation. And for our young guys here, we need to be ready to take whatever life gives us, turn it into an opportunity, and work with it. For the good book says that for though the righteous fall 7 times, they will rise up. In life, when you fall, you need to rise up and move on. People have built businesses, they have failed, built new ones, failed, and then finally they get success. So when we start our career, when you start your career in here, you probably would not get it the first time, but there's an assurance for you that once life goes on, you can turn it around and make it good. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Gadiel, our trip prats. Now the floor is open for you to ask questions. Any question that you want to ask him. Okay, whether or not you ask him questions, you will do something for me. Like I said at the beginning, this is the final one of our mentorship sessions, and we'd like to know your feedback on the mentorship session. So PAs will go around and ask a few of you questions. Kindly answer them when they come around, in addition to the questionnaires. Any question from the audience this morning? Yes, I know you are all waiting for the contest, but he said something which I hope somebody is thinking about, that the science of today is the technology of tomorrow. Okay, so if there are no questions, I'd like you to give your final words, and then we'll be good.
Oh, I think I'm done.
Okay, so another round of applause for Mr. Gadiel, our trip prize. Thank you very much for joining us for our mentorship session this morning. It was brought to you by Bond Savings and Loans and RMG Ghana Limited. Hopefully, I'll see you again next year. Thank you.
I can conveniently pay for my utility bills, my son's Cartoon Network on DSTV, and renew my internet services package. I can securely send my sweet mother her monthly allowance by simply transferring funds from my Bond account into hers. I can also pay the gardener through any of the mobile money platforms available. I can verify if the check to the vendor has cleared. Now let me guess my sister is here at time so I can peacefully go back to sleep. With Bond mobile app, you can do your banking anywhere. Download the Bond mobile app on Apple Play Store or Google Play Store today. Bond, your success, our passion.